right, here we are. We are live. 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock here in our special studio. Let me let you see a little bit around here because it's different today. It's a coffee roaster on my side. Actually, see bags of coffee there in the background and coffee for sale there. So in the coffee studio here. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for joining me here. And let's get right into it. Today was a special week. I waited till I got done with my blood work. What else did I do on Tuesday? My second series in the vaccinations, which is a hot topic nowadays, right? And then, got ready to do my flight from Fort Myers, Florida, which is close to where I live, to Dallas, and then Dallas down to here to Sao Paulo, and then a 2-hour car ride, which Louise was over there making coffee and is my host in this beautiful country. Generously, with his time, went to pick me up at the airport in Sao Paulo, and unfortunately, tomorrow I'll already be leaving this beautiful, beautiful place. I mean, I've had so many great experiences here, and I want to share them with you. The trip was long. I took food with me because I thought, since I'm on a therapeutic keto diet, they're not going to have exactly what I want. And so what I did is I took some of the roast beef that I've done. I don't know if you've seen on the channel here. I have like a YouTube that talks about doing that roast beef. Here it is.
There you are, sir. Your double.
Look at this. I mean, can you? Gosh, it's a beauty. Look at that. So beautiful. So I'm going to add this to. Here's what I found down here in the city here, and they have this across Brazil, but it's heavy whipping cream, same thing, and then you would make whipping cream out of this. You can see it's like on a dessert here, but this here is 30. Oh, it's 35%. I thought it was 39. Anyway, 35% total fat in this. I already have one going with 1 shot of coffee, right? Now, right after this, I start my fast because on Tuesday, I'll pour this in here without making a mess. On Tuesday, I do my chemotherapy, right? And you guys have been following me that know that I fast before chemo. And why do I do that? Because it mitigates the side effects of the chemotherapy. And the one I've been especially cautious on is called Abraxane. And I'm just looking for something to prop the computer up on so you guys are like looking down at me. I think that'd be a little bit better. Let me try that. So Abraxane is like, of all the chemos that I'm doing right now, it's the one that has the most juice in it. It's the one that has the most punch in it. And so, my oncologist told me that. It says, Dave, you're on Cisplan, and the other one, which is gemcitabine. Is that what you call it? I don't know. It looks like germs to me. And then the Abraxane. I got all 3 of those going on. And, the first time that I had chemotherapy, which is like three weeks ago, I did the 72-hour fast that I do before going into chemotherapy, and it was okay. And then I did it the next time going into this one with Abraxane. And I'm telling you, the Abraxane was potent. There we go. That's a little bit better, right? Colors and stuff. So it was very strong, and what made it strong is because it's a stronger medication than the other ones. And also the other thing about it is that it is plant-based, it's powerful, And what I did feel from that, I cannot be sort of like George Washington. I cannot tell a lie. I want to be totally transparent with you. Even though I did the fasting before the whole chemotherapy, that one really, for a couple of days, kind of made me tired. So I did feel like slightly exhausted from that. And that was it, And so I'm ready for this next round, which will begin on Tuesday. That's the reason I have to go back home, because this flight tonight will put me back on the flight tomorrow night will put me back home on Monday, and I'll have Monday kind of day to recuperate from the flight. And then on Tuesday, going for bright and early. Matter of fact, they even called me down here in Brazil to let me know that, hey, you need to be prepared for a whole day, because first they're going to do a blood draw, then next they're going to do, I meet with my doctor, and then it's like the whole afternoon of chemotherapy. So something to look forward to. Anyway, I'm on those 3. I'm on what they call a calorie-restricted therapeutic ketosis diet. Now, what does that mean, calorie-restricted? So the way I have this thing fine-tuned is to bring my protein levels down to 0.8 grams per lean body mass, right? So I'm right around my lean body mass lean body mass weight is right around 70 kilos. And so when you do 0.8 of that, you come up with right around 45 grams, I think. You can do that on the calculator here. So we have 70 times, I think is what the way you do it. Is it 0.8? That would be 56. So it must be a little lower than that. So whatever it comes out to, you can work this all out in Chronometer, which is great. And I thought we can take a look at my Chronometer numbers for today, which is going to tell me how much protein I should be ingesting, and it's got on there 47. So 47 grams. Not sure if you can see that. If we got like, let's see here. I can do the autofocus thing. Yeah, see on Chronometer, you can see the second one down is proteins, 47 grams. My carbs, I kind of have set at 12 grams, even though I hardly ever hit 12 grams. And the fat is 278 on a normal day, right? And that's why I do things like this. And also, I brought with me on my trip, which I think is very good, is I brought some MCT oil, right? And I got one of them down and a little bit. The only place I was thinking that I would do the MCT oil anymore is probably on the flight back home, I think, just as a thing for therapeutic value and not really trying to break my fast that much, is putting some MCT oil in my coffee, This thing right here with all this cream and percentage of fat in it will break your fast. Okay, so if you're fasting and think you can get by with doing a keto coffee or bulletproof coffee, forget it. You won't have to start over now. It's not that. It's that it doesn't like reset your body totally, but you get into a place where, that your stomach actually does have to start processing. So you're probably any kind of autophagy or anything on the benefits from the fast are gonna like dip down and then slowly come back up. So calorie restricted, that where I take my calories out of, even though I know that fat has twice as many calories, right, as proteins. Like a gram of fat might have 8 calories and a gram of protein would only have like 4, But I want to take the calories off of the protein, because right now in this therapeutic thing that I'm doing, I have to think, okay, I want to be reducing my protein, because protein and not fat. But the protein, there's a thought out there that it may turn into glucose, sugars, in your body. Just turn that off. In your body, like if you get any kind of excess protein going on, there's gluconeogenesis that may happen, which is the liver turning excess fat, excess protein. The liver turning excess proteins into glucose may feed cancer cells, right? That's the way that thing works, is they feed on that. So I have written down here in my protocol that the concentration or focus is more on the protein, very low, than fat reduction, all right? The nutritional supplements that I'm taking right now is, let me show you. This is the metformin that I purchased. I think I can show you this, right? It doesn't show any. Yeah, there you go. So these pills are 500 milligrams. So I take 2 of them. I want to get like 1 gram of the metformin into my system every day. I also take berberine, which I am out of at the moment. I do have it back in the United States. It arrived during my trip. And also the chloroquine, which I'm going to pick up later today. And meclizine, which this amazing product I got on Amazon. Let me just show you this because this cost all of, I think I paid either $4.99 or $5.99 for this. It's 100 tablets, 25 milligrams. This is motion sickness medicine, right? Prevention and treatment of motion sickness. Now, the amazing thing about meclizine, I mean, if you do any kind of like research into meclizine and cancer, you will find that it has amazing properties to work on cancers in your body. So like shrinking the tumors and that kind of thing. And there is tons of scientific proof. Go to Google, type those 2 words in there, meclizine. If you want, I can type it into the chat here. Meclizine. And cool stuff, right? So got that going on. And additional considerations that I'm thinking of, because Rachel, my daughter, wants me to get into, and I did this last Saturday for you guys, but I really haven't started the service on the Restore yet, right? And they do these IV drips, down here, and they'll do like a vitamin C drip for you, and I think that's super beneficial if you're thinking of any kind of therapeutic use of vitamin C, would be to do the drip. At the moment, I'm taking this stuff here, and I'll show you this really closely. But this is, I don't know. It's a little hard to get this going like every single day. It's come on. There we go. Maximize absorption drive via smart liposomal nanospheres. Okay, so that's 1,000 milligrams vitamin C. It's in like a, I don't know, like a gel. And even though you put it in water, the crazy, creepy thing about this gel is that it will not mix with the water. It kind of stays there in the bottom of the glass, and you kind of have to like drink it down. It doesn't taste bad, but supposedly it goes right into your system. So I want to do the IV vitamin C drip and also hyperbaric. I have my questions about the hyperbaric oxygen, especially at their level. They have they're 1.3 atmospheres, which means we're under atmosphere number 1, so it's 1 pressure on us. And 0.3 is just a little bit more pressure. I am not sure if that's enough to get into your, to push into the cancer cells, because that's the whole idea, is to get oxygen to those cancer cells and further stress them out with oxidative stress, as they call it. All right, further. On Wednesday, we went out and bought lots of cheeses, high-fat cheeses here, which are in abundance. There are some crazy good cheeses here that are homemade, made on the farms here, and man, just fantastic. You know, the taste and the amount of fat. Now they also have these cheeses that they do that they put like things into, you know, like herbs and different spices. And for those cheeses, you know, I looked them up online, and unfortunately I can't partake because remember my carb number is at 12. But I also have to take into consideration my normal diet, which many times includes eggs, which have, I think, half a carb in them each. And if I do like 3 or 6 eggs, you know, those carbs are creeping up. Don't want to do like little slices of cheeses on top of that and then find out that I've been overdoing it with my carbs, right? Because, you know, carbs in the body turn right into sugar, and we don't want to feed this crazy thing going on here. So anyway, what else do we have going on here? On Thursday, I think we picked up some sausage links from a local butcher that were like jam-packed full of fat. We also did pork belly, which Louise, I did bring my sous vide, the heating element off the sous vide, so we did it in a pan. But that was a Friday that we did that, from Thursday night to Friday. So last night we had the pork loin. Oh gosh, it was just amazing because we left it in there for like, I don't know, probably did 10 hours, maybe 9 hours of cooking in the sous vide at low temperature. It was just like so delicious. Everybody loved it. Even his wife's not a big fan maybe of pork, you know, but she said it was just delicious. So, you know, it's good. And then there's like tons of this pork fat in the bottom of the pan, but that's Friday and I'm getting ahead of myself. So we did pork belly pieces, and what Luis did is he crisped them, made them, you know, into like a bacon, and then took the skin off the sausage, right, and then dumped that in there too. And we had like little pieces of sausage going all around and tons of pork lard in the bottom of that pan. And I'm telling you, I was in heaven because I need to, you know, get as much fat as I can into the body. And, you know, this was the perfect way because we had the pork belly going on, which is super high in fat. And then the pork sausage going on, which also is just full of fats too. A little bit of seasoning in there, but not much, you know. And it was nice. It was salty. It was good. It was just, you know, heaven. And my drinks did coffee and MCT oil. Very simple stuff, you know, going on. Today, I'm doing this, which is heavy cream. Down here, it's 35% cream. And the only thing it has in it is just milk, you know, milk and the, you know, the cream. And as far as proteins, you see, it has 0 proteins, 0 carbs, and it's just like total fat, sort of like in the United States. So I was really happy we could find that here in the local stores. And I got one with like 2 shots of coffee going on here that Louise just brought me. So I mixed it in here and going on that. All right. So like I said, on Friday, we went back to the same butcher and got a pork loin. And then he added like the leftover pork belly and pork sausage into the pork loin after it was done. You know, we took it from the sous vide, put it in a pan, and kind of like with the hot pan going on there, you know, cooked that up. It was just super delicious. And he also made some ground beef, which here's what I did with the ground beef. It was sort of made for his Louise's wife, Joni, and I took like a couple spoons of that, and then I poured the pork oil in that, and just like, you know, I was in heaven with that in a bowl. It was great. So my fat levels for the last 2 days have been really amazing, and kind of blew through once again the protein numbers, which I thought, you know what, I'll measure my glucose level this morning. My GKI went up just a tad. I want to show that to you. So my index today was, you get this where you can see it. GKI was 2.9. Glucose was 80. Ketones kind of low, you know, 1.5. And that's probably because we ate super late and the food was just off the chain. So amazing stuff. So it was really good. So I'm still in my deep level of ketosis, which is great. I'm below the 3, but not as deep as I want to be, which is like having 3, ketones per deciliter of millimolar, I guess is what they call it, right? So I want a 3 there and not 1.5, but I'm working on that, right? Today, like I said, I go to my fast after I get done with this spiked coffee, which is just full of fat. The fast will last. I got the fast lasting into Wednesday morning, so it's going to be from now, Saturday to Wednesday morning, which is one of my longer fasts. And the reason why is because I've read some research recently on fasting past the chemotherapy. Now, chemotherapy is on Tuesday morning. I go in bright and early, and I think they'll start the chemo probably around 9:30 Eastern time, and as long as it takes. With the 3 medicines, usually it takes, 3 or 4 hours for that stuff because they drip it slowly. And then what I normally do after my chemo that I've done, I've only had it twice, so this is going to be chemo number 3, is that I will take and feast. I go home, I have stuff already ready or in the sous vide or something that's going to be ready as soon as I get out of chemo, and then I'll go into it. But I read that that's not so good on your body. First of all, if you think about it, it doesn't sound like a good idea because your body's going to be full of these chemicals from the chemotherapy, right? And then, you're packing on all this food, which is another big heavy load for the digestion, your body to handle. You're already giving, I think digestion is probably the biggest load you can put on the body, right? As far as something for the body to do, digesting food, working on all that stuff and feeding your cells. And I'm thinking if you want the best therapeutic value for what chemotherapy can do for you, especially if you're in a therapeutic ketosis diet, which is low everything except fat, then you want the body to be still in deep ketosis and not having to worry about digesting foods until maybe, hours after the chemotherapy is done. So this stuff has a chance to work in the body, and also you're not stressing the body out with more stuff. So I have it planned to go to the next morning, probably around 9:30. I will break my fast on Wednesday morning with some yummy breakfast. Maybe I can do some eggs and sausage or some crazy nice thing like that, and just enjoy it. Be back home in Naples for that. And that's the plan right now. So I'm going to start my fast, go for the rest of the day, Saturday, then Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday chemotherapy, and then Wednesday, come off of it. So I will let you know how that goes. But how it has gone in the past is just amazing. I have felt awesome. I have no loss of hair, no loss of weight to speak of. The reason I say to speak of is because between therapy number 1 and therapy number 2, the chemotherapy, they said according to their scales, I had dropped down 5 pounds, and maybe I think it was probably water weight. I couldn't really tell from my readings. They did kind of trend down. If I look at my chronometer and I go to trends, this is on my phone because I'm using the Mac here to broadcast with. I'm looking at weight and body fat. If you look at the period during between those, and I did take a week off, remember, so you can see where my body weight kind of tanked down to like 145 at one time. They had measured me, as you can see right there on the left side of your screen, 155, and then I went all the way down to like 150, I think is the day that I did chemo number 2. And they said, you dropped, 5 pounds. So that was a legit concern of theirs. And I thought, okay. So yesterday, which is June the 11th, you can tell I was right at, if you look, I think I was right at 100. Does that say 156, guys? We're looking over here on this side over here, okay, on your left side. So those are the last 2 days. I've weighed myself a little bit above 155, 156. So hopefully they'll be happy. So, whoa, you gained 10 pounds or something. So been eating well down here. I've been watching my weight. Now, this is a concern of mine because I had even got a response from Miriam Kalamian, which wrote the book Keto for Cancer, where she in the book explains the concern to not bust through your protein numbers so much, because those numbers could, cause the liver through gluconeogenesis, which is genesis, like creation of something from a different thing or from nothing, could create like glucose in the body. And don't want that to happen at all, right? So I've been trying to keep my numbers down, even though, some days what happens is like last night, I just, this pork loin was so delicious and I had all this fat. So, I had that with a little bit of the ground beef. And then this morning I checked my numbers and I'm at 80 glucose. So I'm thinking, okay, so it wasn't so bad, but I'm wondering what could have the number been? Maybe the number could have been 70 is my glucose number if I wouldn't have pigged out so much on the. And that you have to track, because I want to know if this excess protein that I do on those days, do I really trigger glucose in the body, for the next morning. But the main thing I want to know is, am I going to be losing weight? That was one of my primary concerns is, okay, if I'm not getting the protein that a person my age needs and my activity level, am I going to start losing? That's the last thing I want to do is lose weight on this diet, right? I don't want to lose weight. I'm fighting cancer. You don't want to lose weight because cancer in itself causes weight loss, in its own horrific way. So don't want to do that. So that was one thing that I keep my eye on that. I'm very happy with the numbers of my weight, especially on this trip. It's not only the great therapy that I've been going through when I'm down here, because, part of your deal, I'm telling you, is part of my therapy, my whole protocol. I mean, a huge part of it is just feeling great, and making sure that you're living and making sure that you're doing things that keep you alive, and not like reducing yourself to like another statistic in this whole thing. You have to be your own advocate in this whole idea of what you're going through. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to look after you. They may make suggestions, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. But they're not going to do the research on it, and they're not going to do it for you. That's the other thing, is actually not only thinking about it, but doing it. I think I should get more sunshine. Well, go out and do it. Go out and sit out in the sun for an hour or two, right? One amazing thing I've found on a keto diet is that you can take a lot more sunshine than you can if you're just, on a normal standard American diet, where you would burn. Isn't that crazy? I mean, ask anybody that's done keto for a while how they react to sunlight, and they'll tell you that it's just, it's an amazing thing. So let me get back to what happened during the week. The deal with meditation, I made even more of a priority, and I think it's a huge part of the protocol too. I think two things happen with meditation. It not only gets you in a calmer state of mind, because a lot of the research that has been done with the protocols using a ketotherapy, that's a new word, right? A ketogenic diet with a therapeutic way, is that a lot of people have a lot of stress going on in their body just because they're always thinking about the disease and, what's going to happen and the future and the past, and how they can mitigate any of this stuff. More of a lost type thing, right? And I found that meditation really helps calm all that going on. You could do yoga too. You could do things that really like make you slow down, be in the moment, appreciate life, drink your favorite drinks that are within the diet. Eat your favorite foods. I know there's a lot of things that you can eat on this diet that are super delicious, that don't blow through the sugar, don't blow through the carb area, and keep you in your fats and your protein numbers low. So don't feel that, you've signed like some kind of death sentence. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do, is like put that on yourself. So the first meditation that I do early in the day is a guided meditation that I found on this app called Insight Timer. I'll show you what the app looks like on an iPhone here. It's this one that looks like see, it says Insight Timer right there. It looks like a Buddhist temple bell, or one of those bells. And then if we press this thing and get into the app itself, Insight Timer, it'll show you like, there are a lot of live sessions going on. Those cost something, right? And there are like a lot of live events you can get into. But if you go to, like, I have some favorites going on here. These favorites that I have in my library, as it's called, on this meditation app. You can see the first one in there is called Breathing into Sleep. Cancer chemotherapy is the one I use in my chemotherapy sessions as they start the drip. They usually tell you it's going to take a half hour, so I got a 30-minute one that's perfect for that, which is guided. And then these other ones, cancer and healing. This one down here, as I started listening to it, it's not really a meditation, it's like a speech. This one's kind of cool with this guy here, nothing here but you. You can kind of tell he's a cool guy, And so there's a lot of them that are on here that are free. You don't have to pay for. And then in the evening, like towards the evening when I'm winding down, I do another meditation, which is a 20-minute meditation. I try to do transcendental meditation. And it's using the same app, with the Insight Timer. What you do is you get into this very first thing here. It's called Timer. See that where it says Timer? And I click on that, and I have set up here my presets. Yeah, Dave's TM. I got it called there. Now, if you look at that, it says duration, meditation, 20 minutes, intervals, none, ambient sound, none, ending bell. So if I click that right now, it's going to make this bell sound. Let me start one. Kind of asks you to check in first. So it'll go down. It'll go 30 seconds into this thing. So you can kind of get into your, where you're going to sit down, where you're going to, do your meditation from. It gives you like a little warm up time, which is kind of cool. And then we're counting down to when we're going to hear the first bell. And you'll notice it's one of those Tibetan chime bells. It's really cool. Listen to this. So then we're going to go through the full 20 minutes. And then at the end of it, no matter where you are, you're going to wake up with this thing kind of telling you that, hey, your session is up. So it's perfect for that. Now, I've had all kinds of weird sessions with the Transcendental Meditation session. What you're trying to do is like get your body into like a deep calm. And one way to think about it is you're trying to, like you're like below the ocean, like into like a sort of like a scuba diving thing, or only you don't even have to be with the equipment. You're just there and you're way under the waves where you don't even feel that roughness of the ocean. All this going on around us, this monkey mind stuff, dogs barking out on the street and people talking and all that kind of thing. You just want to get into the quietness. Now you can use, if you choose to, I'm going to show you my chemotherapy equipment bag too, which comes in this beautiful bag that I took from my daughter, Rachel, which has a breast cancer tag on it. I guess that's cancer, maybe breast cancer, yeah. You can use, like noise canceling headphones if they're going to help you get into like even a deeper state. And you just want to get into a state, and you mind your breathing. Sometimes you say a word, sometimes I don't, sometimes I just go there. Sometimes you fall asleep, that's being very calm, right? But the intent is not to fall asleep, but it's to calm the mind. And this is a beautiful part of therapy when you have something like this, like cancer. And it's part of my protocol is like calming the mind, because proof in the science, right, is that it actually does help, your therapeutically, as far as the medicine's working better in your body. If your body's calm, doesn't have all this cortisol coursing through your veins, it's going to be better for you, right? So I do that. There's 2 sessions a day. That's 40 minutes out of your day. I mean, for me, it's medicine. It's worth it. Something I have to do, something I have to take, right? So something I don't like play around with. And neither should you. I mean, I'm telling you, you should not mess around with stuff that may be life-saving. I just think that way, about all this stuff. And that's a big part of my therapy. So when I started talking about that in Louise and Gioni's home, is where I'm staying here in São Bento in Brazil. We started talking about, man, I wish I could get a massage. I wish I could get and they said, you should go to acupuncture with our friend, here in town. So I did a session of acupuncture. I think that was Thursday night. And it was amazing. We spent probably over 30 minutes just talking about my therapy, and she was agreeing on how ketogenic is the way to go. And fasting is so cool, it's good for the body, but how acupuncture can actually open up meridians in your body and help your body energy flow better. And maybe you think that's foo-foo stuff, you can take it or leave it. But for me, I believe in it. And I believe that we are spiritually connected in a way that we just don't understand. And we're finding out more and more of this, scientifically, we're finding out more that this is actually the way things work in this universe that we're in. And so her putting the needles in me in various places, for me, and the therapy that we were trying to do that night was also, remember with my colonoscopy that the doctor came back and said, you have a blockage in there that's near where your tumor is. And this blockage is so great that you probably shouldn't be feeling the way you're feeling. You should be feeling like stuffed up and nauseated and probably trying to throw up because everything's blocked up there. And I'm thinking, okay. So I told this to the acupuncturist, and she did some kind of therapy that probably dealt with the intestine. I'm not sure. But she only needed to do my feet and my hands. So she did that part. And also, different places on my head, top of my head, she had one. And another thing she did, I don't know if you can see this, is she did a number on my ear here. Can you guys see that? Maybe let me try to get closer on that. But she tapes these little, I know some of them have come off, I see, and that really makes my ear look crudely. But those are actually, gosh, it really does look weird. But anyway, those are actually mustard seeds that are under tape that she put on there as therapy. If you don't have to study, but if you choose to kind of look up acupuncture, that is part of acupuncture, where they put these pressure points on your ears and in different places that are actually therapeutic, and they help, in the way. And she says, if you think about it, push on those little guys. And I think maybe they moved because they were sort of in a line right here, But I'm going to leave them on there until they fall off, right? So, and every time I come back here, I'm going to get the acupuncture from her. Now, the other thing is I'm going to look into, as soon as we get done with this live here, which ends at the top of the hour, is to look into acupuncture in my town of Naples, Florida, and find out, maybe who can do it, because my insurance actually pays for acupuncture because it's been something they could prove has value and is scientific. They can prove this person in here and this person here that received the acupuncture, they're different. There's something happened in their body to change. So yeah, acupuncture. Now the next night, guess what? They said, okay, it's time for your massage. Massage at 3:00 in the afternoon. They sent me to this, which I thought was, I don't have my autofocus turned on there. So this was actually yoga, therapeutic, natural, integrated therapies. Yeah. Art in, I don't know what that word is. Mandalas. Okay, so I had no clue. I thought I was going in to get a normal massage, right? So here I am showing up in the studio. I had shorts on, And, you know, I thought, strip down to your shorts. She's going to do massage oil and all that. And man, was I in for a treat, because Chris, which operates a studio, it's right next door here too. You know, so I was at the coffee shop here and I just walked over there and I was ready for my session. She started with this. She started explaining, you know, first of all, it's this, you know, discussion to find out where you are, like, you know, in energetically, I guess. And she said, I'm going to do something. First of all, we're going to do a session where we're going to clear the energies from your body. And she actually like lit up this thing that looked like a Roman torch, like only a smaller one, like a bunch of reeds, you know. And she took that, close your eyes, you know, but you could smell, you know, could see it was smoking. You smell the smoke. And she did that, and, you know, with these little feather fan things. And I know this may sound totally foo-foo to you, but I totally believed it. As a matter of fact, I got emotional, and, you know, I started like tearing up. I mean, I don't know why, but I think it's because you feel something, right? And even if the thought's there, you know, even if you don't totally believe in it, the kind of therapy, or, you know, it seemed like it was a shamanistic type of thing, you know, that you would only find like in a shaman deep dark in the jungles, you know. So how would I find somebody here in this city that would have that kind of therapy down and go for it? And me just bumping into that, I mean, it's got to be something that's like, you know, wow. So then the next thing we did was that she did some kind of other thing, and then it was time for the massage. So it wasn't really a massage, it was more like putting on lavender, French lavender oil, and like different parts of my feet, like sort of like a session where it's reflexology based, where she would like touch different parts and, you know, to have a clearer reaction or something in the body. Same thing with my hand, my head, my neck. You know, it was all of this stuff going on. And then, you know, that went on for a while. And then there was something else she did. I don't quite remember. But I think at the very end, you could not miss this. Forget this. She said, I'm going to do what is a drum therapy. Have you ever had that done? I said, no, never. I've heard of drum circles and stuff. She says, okay, it's a very special drum. Me, face up, laying down on the massage table with my eyes closed. And I'm thinking, whatever she's going to do, you know, I'm just totally here to like be open to accept whatever's going to happen, right? So it was like you could feel the vibration on my body of the drum, you know. And she would do these drum beats with this thing, and I never saw the drum, but I'm thinking it was like big and round, and sort of like a tambourine type affair, because I could feel the pressure like so easily in my body, and I just thought that was incredible. So had that going on as well. When I got done with that, I mean, I just felt, here's what I felt. I felt like I was on a different vibration. You ever feel that way? Like something's happened in your body that you feel like a different, you know, wow, you know. I felt that, and it still continues. I mean, you can tell I'm different than I was even last week doing our live from Naples, Florida. I think it was raining last week and I couldn't get to the beach. But man, just amazing things that have happened here. And I want to tell you that the negativity that came out of the gastroenterologist after the colonoscopy, that you should be feeling bad, you should be feeling this, you should be feeling this negative, you know, this should be blocking, this should be happening. I swear to you, that happened on a Tuesday, I think, was when I had my colonoscopy. The whole rest of the week, or what is it, on a Friday? I don't know. The whole week, you know, I'm thinking, yeah, I feel blocked up. You know, I mean, you have to almost like, it becomes like something in your brain that you actually think of that happens, right? And it shouldn't be that way, but our minds, our thoughts are so powerful, so powerful. And, you know, that went through my mind. I totally thought that. I thought, man, okay, I'm eating this stuff, but the stuff I ate yesterday hasn't really processed through, you know? So I just want to tell you, since I've been here, I arrived here Wednesday morning, right? That things have never worked better for me as far as digesting foods and them being eliminated from my body. I mean, it's almost like, I mean, I would say After yesterday, I went like 3 times, which never has not happened to me in a long time. The things, my audience, or ladies and gentlemen, are working perfectly. So there's no fear there. So it's like a new me, I mean, that's what, oh gosh, it's weird that I say that, because Chris was saying this yesterday. She said, the feeling I get from you is that it's a new you, a new time, a new everything, new life. Even though you have this diagnosis, it's new, new you. And, you should just take it and make this is the new Dave. And I swear to you, one thing that I put in my diary, which I did bring with me, which maybe I could find it real fast, is that when I was diagnosed, this thing was that I wrote down that this whole diagnosis of me having this cancer diagnosis right here says I'm at peace, but I put that, oh yeah, here it is. I write, let me see what day this is. This is huge, this one here. This was on March the 2nd. I wasn't really diagnosed, didn't have anything, but I put, not really sure how that happens. All I know is it how it made me feel, and obviously make them feel. I know it's late and coming, but they're okay. Maybe that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, then I wrote, maybe that's what this is all about. I never thought about it until now. Time is such a luxury. We're not guaranteed anything, even making it through the day. What we got clouded by is that many around us who are living, and that makes us believe that we'll go on forever. So true, right? We rarely think, even more rarely speak or talk of death, or at any point our days in which we have the opportunity to work so hard that our dreams could come true would be numbered, and that our vision would change from that dream level. So at that point in my life, I thought, this is a freaking wake-up call. That's what this is, And then she says that. And then Dr. Rubens said something similar when I did the session with him. He's in Sao Paulo. And the session was one of these virtual sessions that like you and me are doing here. And he was saying, that I feel that you're healing. And I feel like this is a new beginning for you, Dave. New beginning. Where do people get that from? And unless they get that from something you're putting off, And even at distance, it's thousands of miles away from him. I'm thousands of miles away from you. And we can kind of feel like what's our vibes, right? So he says, that's kind of vibe I'm getting from you. Like, this is something new. Take advantage of this new beginning, So I am. And it's just incredible. Last night, after my massage session next door, I felt totally incredible at dinner, and we just enjoyed just a wonderful dinner. And I didn't even think of any kind of digestive problem, which I had before. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't eat so much because this may get stuck, at the point. And it's just totally, here's my thinking. As the healing comes, and as the more I affirm that the healing is going on, and I'm doing the right therapy, and I'm doing the right thing with everything I can do, is that this tumor only has in its future to shrink and go away, and to liberate, to open up anything that's constricting, right? So that's where I'm at. It's like this thing has to let go, right? And I'm sending that out, that the tumor is getting smaller, the cancer is going away. I'm digesting things normally. Things are happening. I mean, that happened this week. I mean, you have little control. I was going to say no control, but you have very little control over those movements, right? I mean, it's a thing, force of nature. And when they happen, I'm going like, the tumor's shrinking. It's letting go. It's hold on my colon, right? There's no cancer inside my colon. I didn't find anything, and the colonoscopy came out clear. But the picture showed that there was, the thing was around the large colon and like restricting. I'm okay with that because I'm okay with everything, right? But I have to figure out in me you know, what the next steps are. But in me, at the time, I thought, I am not really feeling any discomfort from this thing. And I'm not feeling stopped up, and I'm not feeling bloated. I'm not feeling nauseous like this guy's telling me. So I didn't believe it then. But as things cook in your mind, you know, the ideas, you start slipping into the belief that that could be a possibility. Maybe I am feeling a little stopped up. And then your bowel, you know, will just go, okay, maybe you are, you know, and it'll stop. And that's why I say that we're not totally in control, but we are. Our thoughts and our mind can totally affect the body. And they can affect the healing power of the body. They can affect how medicines and supplements and diets work. You can have total synergy with all that stuff if your mind is on board too, because it's a part of it, you know? It's not something you can leave out. Your mindset is almost like the key to all this working. So that's why I let in chemotherapy, and that's why I let in like conventional treatment as well, as long as it's within the thought process of how the therapeutic ketogenic diet will work with my cells and with the cancer cells, and when the chemo comes in, how it will affect the cells, only because I've done the therapeutic keto diet and my supplements that I've done, which we talked about before, those three big ones, metformin, berberine, chloroquine, which are glucose inhibitors. We don't want any more sugars in the body, right, to feed those cancer cells. So they're starving. They ingest the chemicals. They gotta go somewhere. They can't, you know, they can't be keep growing. Some people have mentioned this too, you know, about the feeling blocked up thing. They say, oh yeah, you know, it's because that thing's growing in there like crazy. And I'm going, I don't want to hear. I don't want to be talking to you. Anyway, this is the bag that I take to chemotherapy, taking flight for the fight. This is a bag that they gave out on some of the flights. I think this particular one came either from Delta or American Airlines, 2 airlines, because my ex flies for Delta and I work for American. So anyway, I got this from Amazon.com. I thought, first session I went into my chemotherapy, they have this incessant beeping going on. I'll show you where it comes from. And I'm going like, you know, I don't know about this. You know, we gotta get this thing under control, because these things beep a lot louder than I'm, you know, it became like a distraction. Let me find out my first chemotherapy pictures. Okay, like, so here's one right here of these units. This is the unit here that like pumps the medicine into you. You've seen these guys before, right? And you're sitting there and they're on top of the thing, and then you have your IVs going on. Here's a picture of my legs there, right? I kind of held the camera up and took like a bird's eye view. You can see the plastic dangling out of the machine there. Let me see. And then coming down. Okay, so when these things get to the very end of what they're doing, they start beeping, right? So it's incessant beeping. Not too much of a bother, but I'm thinking if I'm going to be there for 3 or 4 hours, I want to cancel that out. So I went on to Amazon, and these things are called, I mean, look at this, is not Sony, it's not some kind of brand name here. It's called Let's Calm, right? So they use like, actually this is rechargeable, you know, so I got the charger thing for it, charge it up, put this on, and then I can turn on the noise reduction here, right? The noise canceling, and it actually does work. Now it hooks up to my phone, and then what I can do is like during the chemotherapy, you know, I showed you that meditation that I do for 30 minutes, which is a guy that gets on there and talks about life, talks about, you know, where you're at, talks about other things. Yeah.
Some more coffee or?
Oh yeah, can I have another one? Oh man, this guy's the best. Gonna give me another coffee.
Another one?
Yeah, could be, yeah. If you hear that outside, those are a form of parrots that are wild around here. Just crazy ones, yeah. And they're part of the beautiful nature around. So I mean, so how could you not ask for a better setting here? You know, it's just like perfect regeneration of whatever's going on in your body. So I have this that takes away the beep and also allows me to hear in quiet peace the that meditation, which, man, when I heard that the first time, then it talks about, he doesn't call it the chemo going into your bloodstream. He calls it the medicine. And he says, think about the medicine going into your bloodstream. Think about it being, going exactly to the cells that need it. I think he does call it cancer. But anyway, and he says, think about your body protecting your hair follicles, your body protecting your normal cells, your body protecting, So it's beautiful. And you go through the whole thing, and then he leaves you at peace with, you're beside the mountains and the stream and the whole thing. And it's, very peaceful meditation. So that's the one I use going into that. Now, you can't go into a place like that and be stressed out, because, it's not beneficial. That's not good for you. The other thing I notice is that I love my Twitter family. And, I stay in touch with a ton of people, plus my family, plus Louise, the whole thing. I send him pictures from here, and Joni too. Not from here, but from the chemotherapy place. So I'm going on the phone like nonstop. And you notice, doing all that kind of stuff, your battery, and within 4 hours, if you're on your phone a lot, your battery's going to go down. So I bought this on the advice of my techie son. This is the brand name right here, INIU. And what it is, it comes with a little charging cable. And what it is, it's a little battery pack that, if I turn it on here, you can see the little paws change colors. They light up. And, for that, you can, I don't know if I can turn it off at the same one. Yeah, goes up. That you can recharge my typical iPhone. I'm not sure about the bigger ones. This one has probably a smaller battery since it's the 12 mini. 3 times. And it'll also charge the headphones, which is awesome, good. Got the charging cables. They don't allow you any outlets there at the chemo place, because they assume. So that's why I bring the battery packs. And the other things I have in here, which is nothing, are the like alcohol wipes, just in case I need them. If I do take a snack, which I've only done one time. I took pork rinds once because I thought I'm going to end my fast right after this all happens. So I'm taking that. So that's it. That's my kit that I take with me to chemo, and it keeps me going and in place. And see, what else do I want to talk to you about? Some of the other things I thought that I need to get when I travel is a portable scale. So I got one of those to measure my foods, like no matter where you are, like at somebody's house, and to measure exactly, your macros as you're ingesting them. Because if you're going to start like guessing at stuff, you're not gonna make this thing work. And remember that for you, it's very important. It could be life and death type stuff. So nothing to play around with. Thank you very much. So now I got another double shot here, and I add it to my cream. Oh man, beautiful. Look at that, yummy stuff here. And then I have a piece of paper that I'm putting that on, so it'll make like a coffee ring, right? So bottoms up, man. Very last bit of my coffee with cream right after I get done here, guys. I'm going on this long fast. If you have time to do a fast, I really recommend it. Look at the benefits of fasting. Please look it up on Google. Go to benefits of fasting on YouTube and watch some videos on it. Maybe it'd be a little bit easier to follow along with as you do your thing, because some of you I know are probably like me. They're more like visual. That's why I do these lives than normal people. And the last thing I want to tell you is thanks for joining me down here in Brazil. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel, getting any friends that you know to subscribe. Help me build this channel up. Like the videos that you see that you like, and I appreciate the thumbs up. Let's stay in touch, and direct message me if you're interested in this operation here that's behind me, this coffee biz. that is part of my makeup as well. Down here in Brazil, work a lot in this. Let me know by direct message too. Not here. Well, it could be here on YouTube some way, but go to my either my Instagram channel, which is Naples Dave, or my Twitter handle. You can do direct messages there, which is also Naples Dave. And let me know if you want to try out any of these coffee beans. This is specialty coffee, which means it's roasted in small roasters like this guy here. We did some roasting and showed the videos. I'll be posting another video probably today about the roasting process. Hand-picked. I know Luis, as he's roasting, he goes through and picks out the bad beans and stuff like that. So the taste is just off the charts. We do, if you can see in the background here, we've got the canisters going on. I'm going to do another roast here probably on Monday. And then the different varietals of coffee that we have going on there, those bags back there, they're all raw coffee beans. A lot of people make the mistake of calling them green coffee. These are for sale here. The bags that we're going to do for you, though, are going to be probably like the ones over in the very corner. They're a lot smaller. Just to get to see what's going on. They're free. I will ship them out to you free from the United States. I'm going to take them back in my suitcase. And I want you to try it. I want you to let me know what you think of it. We want to get something going in the United States. And I think a grassroots movement is the best way to go. Because if we can have a lot of you brewing the coffee in the correct way. Now, this is not something you just throw in your little grinder and like pour water over, You have to get the measurement of the coffee has to be right. If you're going to do this right, if you're going to enjoy this coffee that somebody spent a lot of time putting together. The grind has to be pretty spot on. The measurement of the coffee has to be pretty accurate. So I'll give to you how many tablespoons should go per, whatever measurement of water you use, usually ounces, right? And that'll be like, pretty good. But if you can measure how much the coffee weighs, I can tell you how many grams of coffee to put in per the water amount that you're going to use. And you will come out with a cup of delicious coffee, which this coffee that I'm having here with the cream, although the cream, gives it a different taste, not sweet, but, it's different. But I can drink this specialty coffee black, and it's just so beautiful. It is not a bold taste. It's aromatic. There's some coffees that taste like nuts. Others have a citric flavor to them. Others have they just have an amazing coffee taste, Some taste like chocolate. Depends on the bean and the roast that we do. And they're just special. And when you get to that last drop of coffee, black coffee with nothing else in it, although you can put your stuff in it that you want to. I'm not going to hold you back from doing that. But you will see that there's no bitterness at the end. It's just going to be smooth. And this is because these coffees come from small farms around this area and up into the Minas Gerais state. And then some are from the coastal areas in the mountains. And they are a large portion of them are from very small farms. And right now is the time that they're picking the coffee. And maybe on my next trip, I'm going to be able to go out to a coffee plantation and have you enjoy that part and see how it's done, That's what I want. I want to see. For me, I'm the type of person that I like to see, how the whole process goes. Where did this coffee come from? Not only where did it come from? It came from Brazil. But what farm did it come from? And then how did they process? Let me see maybe a short video on them making my coffee, from the green bean or the raw bean, as we call it back there, to roasting it. Then after that, you have to let it air out a little bit, to get the moisture content down. And then what's the best grind? All this process is just so good. Keeping the oils in the coffee at the right level and not burning the bean, all that's so important. So it's like a magical thing, but it's I'm telling you, it's just a beautiful process that makes it taste like you're drinking the best way coffee could ever be done. And it's probably there's more varietals and more tastes in coffee than there are wine. So whoever is a coffee, guru with the guys that cup the coffees, I'm telling you, they are the sommeliers of coffees. So, there's just so many nuances in this stuff. And I want you to have it. So direct message me, get that message to me. I'll ask for your address and we'll ship you out, a small portion that you can taste and try. And I want your opinion on it. That's the main thing. And then later, if it's something that fits with your, your daily coffee ritual, and I want you to have be a part of this whole process here. Okay. So that's it for today. I know we've gone way over, and love you. Thanks for supporting me. A lot of encouragement. I couldn't do this without you guys. So we'll see you next week on the live and our day-to-day videos that we post right here on this channel. Also catch me on Twitter, Naples Dave, and on Instagram as Naples Ketogenic. Okay? Take care. Bye.